Everybody in Australia make barbecues at home. And like Paul Hogan say, throw a shrimp in the barbie. We're going to do that the same here. Here we are in Cairns, everything is big time. So we go big massive lagoons, big massive fruits, big massive prawns. So we're gonna do a big massive skewer. So we're gonna use actually natural bamboo. Opa. So first thing, we're gonna clean a little bit the outside of the bamboo. Just really rustic and really rough. It doesn't have to get very fancy. We're gonna do massive skewers, the size of a prawn, 2, 3, maybe that big. So we got the skewer just to the measure, so we can actually fit inside the barbecue. It not will be too big. And the second one, we're pretty hungry and there's a lot of people around here. There's some Spanish girls watching in there, so I'm gonna probably make a few of them so everybody can get a bite. This is a different kind of bamboo. It's called snake bamboo. It's more flexible and it looks so pretty. It's fantastic. And we're gonna cut them the same size than the one we cut before. About 20 centimeters, something like that. Some bamboo skewers are bigger than others. A ver, cutting here as well. We're just gonna keep it really simple. We're gonna marinate the prawns and all these vegetables with plenty of flavor. Dang. We're gonna get lots of garlic in the mix. Opa, just smash it, don't be shy. Just remember, this is really chunky and really rustic. So just get as much ingredients as possible in this mixing bowl. Because it's just for flavor, it doesn't need to have a very smooth finish. You just remember it's gonna be a marinade. So we're just gonna chop all this. It doesn't matter if it's a little bit of skin through. I think there's heaps. So this got in the mixing bowl. Lots of olive oil. The oil is gonna be the liquid agent that is gonna combine everything together. Little knob of ginger. Don't bother to just peel it or anything. Opa, because it's just gonna be through the marinade. So we actually don't gonna skew it. We just want the flavor. Now we're gonna put some lime leaves, the very aromatic part of the recipe. It's a very rough, rustic marinade. So don't guys be bothered to chop everything really fine. So already, I can get all these amazing fragrances coming from this bowl. It's just fantastic. We're gonna chop some basil leaves. There you are. So now a little bit of mint as well. Very, very fresh item in this rough marinade. Opa. Mix in there as well. Just stir everything together. Now my favorite part of the recipe is when the chili comes in. Lots of chili. The small ones, the big ones, the little ones, all of them. And just don't clean them, don't deseed them, just as they are. Hold, bang, one in there. The chili will go fantastic in this recipe. Nice and hot. So now, once again, we come back to our mixing bowl and just make sure that everything is marinating together. The colors are just fantastic. Now, we're gonna start with the citrus part of the recipe. We're gonna cut a lot of limes and lemons. So now that we have all these lemons chopped in half, we're gonna use all the juice for the marinade. Just get really messy, you know? Feeling the food in your hands. Don't be scared to squeeze a few lemons and get a little bit dirty. There we are. So all our rough, rustic marinade is finished. And now, to skewer, we wanna combine the lovely, amazing king massive prawns with lots of veggies I just been in the market and I grabbed all around the place. We're gonna do some zucchini, some eggplant, a lovely sweet baby capsicums. We're gonna use some fantastic yellow squash. I love the color of this stuff. Some mushrooms, some kumquats, and even these mini tiny little bananas, the sugary bananas. There you are, last tomato goes in there. Now, we're gonna get really cheeky with it, yeah? We mix all these amazing flavors all together with the squash, the eggplant. Oh, it's fantastic. We'll put the prawns in, okay? And we'll marinate everything together. Put a tiny little bit more oil. So actually everything coats with all the flavors. I'm gonna start skewering with my skewer. Oh my God. And you can see All the colors of the rainbow, baby. Putting the last prawn in it, and the job is finished. So we're gonna start to cook all these amazing skewers in the barbecue. So now, some oil, nice and smoky, and I start to get these lovely skewers in the barbecue. There you are. You can do this in any single beach of Australia. Australia is so good, it's got these barbecues ready to use. So you don't even need to bring your own ones. And just let the barbie to do the rest of the job. Lovely caramelization of all the fruits, all the sugars. Look at that. That just looks absolutely fantastic. I'm getting so excited. Just let it cook, let it be. Couple of minutes, a little bit more olive oil. Just enjoy the sun. I'll be ready soon. We're just right on time. The skewers are ready, and I'm so far away from Spain, and I still can find in the beach a few hot cheeky babies. Hello, hello. Hola. And I'm just gonna come around in my charming personality and bring over a few of these skewers and get the party started. There you are. So here we are, girls. I told you it was worth the waiting. Prawns on the past, let's get a little bit of citrus and lemons and limes happening. And just get into it, don't be shy. There we are. Chin chin, hello!
Passion fruit time!
Passion fruit.
Passion fruit time!
La fruta de la pasión. What are we doing here?
All right, we're gonna make a passion fruit and lemon tequila sour with passion fruit foam. Can you chop that in half for me?
I'll chop that in half for you.
Oh, don't squish it.
Yeah.
Beautiful. So I'm just going to scoop it into the Boston glass. And
My name?
la la, oh la la. So the lemons are just gonna chop up. So we're gonna grab the jigger and we're gonna put some lemon juice in.
Squeeze me. So how much lemon juice we got already in there?
There's about 20 mils in there at the moment.
20 mils, and how much we need?
2 shots, which is 60 mils.
Okay, so without a jigger, this is chef skill. 50 mils, 50 mils, that's 30. Another 50 mils, that's 45.
15?
Plus another 16. There you
Yeah,
are. Faster
ooh la
than
la.
a speeding bullet.
So now we're going to put 2 cocktails worth of tequila in there. So that's 4 shots.
For sure.
One,
Uno, dos, tres, y cuatro.
y cuatro.
I start to like this
Cuatro.
cocktail a little bit more. A little
No,
more
look at
intense.
that. Can you please put some ice in here? Now this is the really special part of this cocktail. We just need the egg white in there.
Just the egg white? Okay.
So what we're going to do, we're just going to put the egg white in.
You want me to give it a little bit of action?
I'll whisk and then I'll hand it to you and you whisk.
Shake, shake, shake. The whisking action is fantastic. As you can see, lots of air going into the mix, and it's start becoming nice and foamy.
And for you?
Beautiful. And now, the Fast and the Furious.
Beautiful, and that's what we want it to look like, nice and frothy. And to that, we're going to add passion fruit.
Passion fruit?
So I'm just going to use half of the passion fruit. And my special secret ingredient.
A special secret ingredient.
This is vanilla bean paste. They say that 1 teaspoon is equal to a whole vanilla bean. So
Do you believe that?
smell that.
I don't believe anything I watch on TV.
And then we're just going to stir that through as well. You can use a fresh vanilla bean, but this stuff's just as good.
Do you want any more whisking happening?
Not before we add some icing sugar.
Icing sugar. It's like gonna make a cheesecake or something.
All right, you ready? Oh, Miguel,
There you
beautiful.
Foam everywhere.
So we've got this one back, and we're going to chuck a couple of these in here. I always put it in at the end so that it doesn't sit at the bottom. What do you reckon, one more?
Yeah, of course. There's a lot of acidity in there,
Yeah,
so
there
the
is.
sugar is balancing all the acidities, isn't it?
Ooh. Now what we need to do is we need to shake it. Ready? Shake it for me.
All the way from la Costa del Sol, baby. And look at this, professional. I think you'll do that better than me.
Hey.
Fantastic.
Now, fill these glasses up. And you don't want to fill them too far up. We want to be able to sit that foam on the top. Now, we're just going to put this into here.
Lovely color. Look at that little
Lovely
tips of the
colour.
passion fruit.
This is my favourite bit. We just need to scoop a little bit onto the top of this cocktail.
And now there's our garnish.
Just a little bit of that extra on top.
I'm ready for this. You ready for this?
Cheers.
Cheers, yes.
You've just got a little bit of something.
Yes? Okay.
Yep. Yeah, you got it. You got it. All good.
Delicious. Salud. Sweet and sour all the way from the tropical. Something pretty amazing about being in a tropical area like this is this tropical fruit. Absolutely fantastic. Sapoti, one of the most emblematical fruits of this part of tropical Queensland. It tastes almost like chocolate and it's got an amazing consistency. It's really, really dense. I would say that this fruit is nearly about 200 grams. And look at how small it is. When you open it, it looks almost like a chocolate mud cake. The density of the sapote is gonna give to the cake a very interesting consistency. So first step, for every single chocolate cake, chocolate melting. A steaming pot, the bain-marie is underneath, be careful, nice and hot, and start your chocolate. About 300 grams of chocolate. These guys are very handy to scoop away all the chocolate in the bowl. Opa, that is melting already because here is nice and hot, baby. To make sure that that chocolate is nice and mellow, we're gonna put about 200 grams of butter. Normally, you will use the same quantities of butter than chocolate. But because we got the sapote that is already very dense, we don't need to put so much butter. And slowly, it will melt together, and I will get a lovely, silky consistency. Maybe with the use of a tea towel, so you don't get burned. Keep stirring, and make sure you treat the chocolate with lots of love. Actually, talking about chocolate, I got the real cocoa plant here. They grow in my friend's Peter's farm, just up the road, here in Elandra. It's so bitter, it's unbelievable. I'm gonna smash a couple of them, and I'm gonna put them in the sauce to give a lovely, lovely, lovely bitter taste. Two of them, they highly concentrate in flavor. A little smack with the back of your knife, and they won't melt. There'll be surprises to whoever is eating the cake. It'll be the lucky duck to have a chunk on it. Bang, opa, there we are. And into the mixing bowl. So as you can see, the chocolate is melting beautifully. So we're gonna put down the steam, keep stirring with your spatula until all that butter is going through the chocolate and it's giving a lovely silky consistency. Now, a little touch of alcohol to cut through that sweetness. This lovely chocolate and raspberry liqueur goes beautifully with the cake. A little tiny splash. Yep, plenty. What the alcohol is gonna do is just cut all the sweetness, and it's gonna have a little bitter taste. So your tongue wouldn't be confused with all that sweetness. Now, let this rest, make sure it's not boiling, and we leave it down there. Let's start with the creaming of the eggs. This is a very common technique in pastry. Eggs and sugar, always creaming together. These eggs, they're absolutely amazing. Make sure there's no shells in the mix, by the way. The better your eggs, the better your spongy consistency of the cake. Always nice and fresh. So really simple, a nice tough whisk and a lot of sugar, about 300 grams, nice and sweet. And just whisk it until the sugar beautifully dissolves. Catch the sugar perfect for the trick. Remember, the more bubbles of eggs in the mix, the much fluffier consistency our chocolate cake will have. Now, normally, to get a nice fluffy consistency in the cake and lots of density, we will use something like sour cream or double cream. I got these marvelous tropical fruits called zapote, yellow and black. And that's what is gonna do the trick, and that's what is gonna make our cake so special. Okay, look at this beauty. What an amazing consistency. It reminds me of the color of the sweet potato or even pumpkin, but it's got a lovely sweet flavor, impossible to compare to anything I've tasted before. What we're gonna do, get rid of the pips, there you are, and just scoop really nicely into the mix. And now the black one. To make sure the black zapote is ready, we had to make sure that it starts to snap and it's sweating all the sugars. That's when the fruit is in the peak. One really easy way to know if the black zapote is ready to eat is when the 4 leaves, they're looking up. That means that we are in the right time, at the right place. Now, snap it in half again. It's almost like butter. It's absolutely amazing. I'm blowing away. And open it in half. Look at the color of this beauty. Amazing. There we are. So we're gonna scoop it out. Amazing. It looks like a chocolate mousse inside a fruit. Because it is so smooth and so soft, it will emulsify slowly with our mix. So get into the whisk. There you have a lovely, beautiful color. Keep foaming, keep foaming, keep foaming. And now, the next step, very simple, get the chocolate and the butter into the eggs. We had to make sure we do this slowly and make sure that that chocolate and that butter, they're sort of cool, so they're not gonna cook our eggs. This is just the silky gold. And remember, back at home, if you cannot find black zapote or yellow zapote, you always can do this chocolate cake with a little bit of sour cream. Very simple. That's probably one of the reasons I became a chef, because some things like that make me feel so special. Now, slowly get the chocolate mix into the eggs. See you later. And with very lots of care, slowly fold so we don't kill all the bubbles of air. Look at that beautiful marbling. Now, let's go to the dry part of the recipe. So now, the flour goes into the almond milk. About 125 grams and about a couple of teaspoons of baking powder is gonna help all that racing business. There you are, 1, 2 teaspoons. 2 teaspoons. There you are. My measurements are fantastic. Anyway, let's keep mixing all these dry goods together. There you are, make sure it's no lumps. Normally, in a big pastry kitchen, we will sieve them together. Here, have you seen a pastry kitchen somewhere? God's country, isn't it? So we use a spoon and we'll make sure when we whisk, we work it nicely. And now slowly, with your spatula, you're gonna fold it in. Very nicely. As you can see, it starts to look like a little cake dough. There you are. Fold it inside, nice and wet. Remember, wet mix, nice and soft and wet cake. Sort of dry doughy mix, it'll be nice and dry inside. So don't be scared if you think that your mix of the cake is too wet, because that will give, after when it's cooked, a lovely texture. Now is when we line it on a tin. The foil goes in the base. Opa, non-stick paper and our cake tin. And now you grab the tin like this and slowly you push the foil that will hold the shape and actually will hold the base of the cake. Look at this, how simple this is. There we are. And now the chocolate mix goes into the tin. Don't waste anything. Just everything in. There you are, fantastic. Smooth it out a little bit. Now, nice and smooth. Half an hour, 160 degrees in any conventional oven, ready to go. Coffee, chocolate cake, black zapote time, baby. I'm gonna see if this little fella like my chocolate cake. We were really funny guests in this resort. Come with me. Have a look at this guy having a nice suntan. I think he needs a manicure, a pedicure. There we are. Cake nice and ready. Half an hour later, 160 degrees. My friends say that I'm a fruitcake. I love this amazing chocolate fruitcake made with black sapote. Let's plate it. Put your hand still really hot in the base. Open the tin, and with a little knife, cut all around the cake. Opa! Make sure it doesn't get stuck to it. Get the tin out of the way. Give a little bit of a shake, and that's coming beautifully in one piece. There you are. I'm so excited. Look at this beauty. Now lay it down in a plate. Wow, this is just marvelous. Tiny little bit of the sapote on top of the cake. Look at that. The density is amazing. The black sapote is sweating through the mix, all the sugars. This is delightful. One of these a week, enough. Plenty of happiness and calories here. Coffee time. Let's see what this beauty does for me. Indulgent, sexy, sweet. The black sapote is a little bit of a fancy touch. Remember, you can do exactly the same chocolate cake back at home. Just let me enjoy the taste of the tropics.